With Season 4 coming to a close soon, and Eternal Return doing as well as ever with their new partnership with Kakao Games, I'd say now is a good time to look to the future, to discuss all the potential updates that will and could come soon. And to be honest, most of the shit here can just be found on their roadmap. And I'll put a link in the description to that. And some of this stuff comes out on February 3rd. But hey, that's content, baby. Let's get started by looking at the current revealed characters. First up, we're getting Laura. Now, I don't know if you've seen my hottest character tier list, but I'm just saying that she was at the top, baby. She's obviously going to be a whip user, the second one, I believe, to be added to the game. And honestly, she gives off Medusa from Fate vibes. Tia is the next revealed character, and the next one I'm personally interested in trying out. Now, I don't know if anyone else saw this when I first looked at this reveal, but that's just fucking Egad's paintbrush. I'm here for it. I want to be the next Shadow Mario of Lumi Island. Next is Felix. Now, Felix is special because he is the first character that's original to Eternal Return. That's right, if you didn't know, all the other characters before Felix have been from Nimble Neuron's other game, called Immortal Soul Black Survival. Yeah, I just blew your mind. I'm not really sure why or when we dropped the Black Survival in Eternal Return, but the name was honestly too long, in my opinion, anyway. But Felix is obviously just going to be a spear user. Elena is the next revealed character, and you'll never guess what kind of skill she's going to use. You think it might be ice? But for real, though, she just looks like Weiss from Ruby. She looks like a rapier user, too, so she'll probably just be another rapier caster like Kiara was. And it looks like Heart is finally getting another character to compete in guitars with, because next we have Priya. Obviously a guitar user, even if she doesn't necessarily use a guitar. The fuck is that instrument, actually? A lute? But I really have nothing to judge her on, just based off this one image we have. Something with the plants and music, I guess. Next we have Adina. And I want this character. I love characters that involve like stars and space and the cosmos in their design. And Adina is exactly that. She's obviously going to be an arcane weapon user and going to do something in regards to space. I love her design. I love her design. I naturally tend towards long white-haired female characters if you couldn't tell. And last but certainly not least, for the revealed characters, we have Marcus. A big man with a big axe. It's about time we got another axe user. I want this guy to have really big moves that have long windups. Or maybe he could even play like Darius from League. I could see myself playing this guy as well. And that's it for the currently revealed characters. I'm especially glad to see they stopped adding new weapon types like they said, and are just expanding on the current weapons that only one character uses. Now we're gonna look at the in-game changes, you know, like items. And they're finally adding active item skills. I've been waiting for these since I started playing the game. My most anticipated, actually, this is my second most anticipated update. My number one is on this list too, so let's take a quick look at the item skills that they're looking to add. Temporary Invincibility is the first listed, and honestly, this is a staple in MOBAs. You might know a certain item from League called Zanya's Hourglass. This item will be great for anti-third party, as there's not really another way to counter it at the moment, besides just running away. The next one listed is CC Removal, and it'll probably work like QSS from League. The thing with this one is I really hope they don't make it too good. If they put something like this into the game, they absolutely need to make it a situational item, or at least difficult to craft. Because this will just turn into an item that everyone has to have if it's too strong. And lastly listed is Temporary Move Speed Boost. As two ways I think this could go. They could make it a really big boost that decays over time, or they could make it a medium boost that just falls off after a few seconds. Personally, I think that the former is the better choice because it requires you to think more where to use it. Now, my most desired feature. It's not something fancy. It's not some new item effect. It's not. It's colorblind mode. I personally hate playing in a non-colorblind mode for most games. Now, I'm not technically colorblind, but I definitely have trouble seeing some colors, and colorblind mode just makes the whole game easier on the eyes. This is actually supposed to release a few weeks after Season 4 started, but I'm not really sure what the delay is, but please do not delay this update again. A nice quality of update coming is a vision range indicator for cameras and drones. Super simple. It'll just be really nice to see what's covered and what you missed. Now we're going to look at some hunt improvements. There's a variety of planned hunt changes spread throughout spring that looks like it's going to be cleaning up a lot of issues with hunting. This first one just says boar charging will be more dynamic. Not entirely sure what that means, but I mean, boar charges as they stand right now are really static. Maybe they'll be able to turn while charging. Now this is a big one. Wild animals auto level up. This is huge. A big problem at the moment with hunting is that if a camp isn't cleared, they stay at their starting level, providing very little to no experience at the mid to late game. Adding this would help out the people who couldn't get a kill or don't have the level to actually get kills in the first place. And this one's interesting. New group-based mobs. I'm not entirely sure what this means either, but with a quick guess, I think that there's going to be a new hunt that has more than one animal in it, like wolves. And now some team mode changes, you know, duos and squads. Honestly, and this is my opinion, but both of these modes have much to be desired, especially squads. It's just such a clusterfuck in there. So let's see if they can make them more enjoyable. They're changing the team mode final restricted area to make it a different size depending if you're in solos, duos, or squads. And honestly, thank God. This needed to happen. The final area is just a mess, and in squads especially. It really needed something, and maybe this will fix it. This one just says that the revive system in team modes will be receiving some big changes. I wish they had elaborated what those changes will be, but I think the system as it stands is kind of basic, but it's got a pretty good foundation, and I have faith that they could come up with something a little bit more interesting. And finally, for the immediate future, we have some things that are listed but not expanded upon at all. Exp System Improvements. Yeah, I don't know. I think the way it works at the moment is just too cluttered with nonsense. If they simplify it down, that would make the game much more accessible for new players. Clang clatter combat ping display. I mean, if someone hits a clang clatter that you place, it'll make a combat ping now, maybe? That item has just been seen as something you need to make Rocker's jacket, so it'd be nice if it actually did something. There's more stuff on this list. There's stuff that doesn't have a solid date or anything. It's way in the future, except for the first one. But it's listed so far away that it really should be in this little section. Bonfires. Yep, Dark Souls bonfires. Certain zones will have interactable bonfires added to them so that you can cook ingredients. And they plan to add more interactable world items even farther down the line. This is certainly interesting. Does this mean that we actually have to go to a bonfire to cook food in the future? Are they going to make it so characters have to physically be at a place to craft up other items down the line? This update raises more questions than it answers. They plan to have a game UI update in which they open up the screen a lot more, taking away the old League of Legends HUD that they currently have. And I'm super looking forward to this update. The current HUD is so unintuitive for what you need to do in Eternal Return, and I wish that League would actually follow suit and do something similar to open up the screen a little bit more. They have a tournament system listed as a midterm goal, and to be frank, it's just gonna be Clash. But for Eternal Return, not really a whole lot to talk about here. Now this actually caught my attention, the hacking system. Now, if you ever looked at the roadmap in the past, in the long-term goals section, there used to be a secondary hacking win condition. But that's been changed. Now I'm thinking that Nimble Neuron scrapped the idea of a secondary win condition altogether. And yeah, I agree with that decision. Now imagine doing all this work and effort to be super strong and then someone else just wins by some completely different means. It sounds super frustrating. A full Wickeline rework is listed as the second part of being a complete change to how she acts and looks, and she has her own unique abilities to use. Yeah, I can't complain about that. Wickeline at the moment is just super predictable and kind of boring. A second practice mode update to create a variety of situations is in the works. Sure, I could always be interested in changes to practice tool, but I think the test dummy currently in the practice tool works fine for most people. Now this I want ASAP. A replay mode for normal player use. Holy fuck, that would be good. It'd be so useful instead of having to record every single match, or if someone wants to see how they died or needs advice on how to play. There's so many good things that could come out of this update. I wish it was a midterm goal, honestly. A game intro. It's just nice. It really makes you feel like a test subject. Give me more lore for the game, honestly. And finally, Lumia Island visual update. I'll never complain about making the map look better. Okay. That is most of the important things coming soon and in the future. There is a lot of things planned, and I know that they're always adding more and more to the game. The current roadmap ends at the end of May. So honestly, I'll have to do another one of these at the end of Season 5, just to keep people up to date with what's going on in the game. And also, don't forget that they add more stuff to the roadmap all the time. Hit the subscribe button if you like my content. And I'll see you all next time.